We are super close to hitting 100 subscribers on YouTube. So please, if you're watching it, subscribe. Because we're gonna do a big giveaway once we do reach that. So subscribe, like it, support. It really means a lot to us. Thank you. Share it. Yeah, share the link.
Share the video, share the recipe, everything.
Oh, make the recipe too. So you have a lot to do.
So we're gonna be sharing with you today some of our Mexican favorite dishes.
I'm gonna make flour tortillas. I'm not sure if we're gonna use them as tacos or we're gonna use them as burritos. We'll see what happens once we're there. And you said the soup, right?
Oh, so Mexican chicken, Mexican tomato soup. We're gonna make some pork butt. That's gonna be in the oven, slowly cooked for until it's like very pourable and delicious.
We'll make sauces, we'll make wok. This is probably gonna be part of like a series because we love Mexican food a lot and there's a lot of parts or a lot of plates that need to be made. So stay tuned and yeah. Okay, so let's get started.
We're gonna get down to business. The first thing I wanna do is work on my chicken because this is gonna take about an hour and a half to cook in the oven.
Where are we recording? Tell us about this new space.
The new space. So this is our office, and this entire wall and this table here was mainly to record videos at some point, and then we never did because I don't know why. Look at this great lighting. Come on, it's gonna make it a lot easier to edit and a lot prettier for you to watch. So
yeah. And if you were following our Insta stories last week, this is what we're working on. So we are actually working from our brewing station. Yeah, this is our brewing station. And we put this plywood on top and my mom made this and it has all this texture.
Back at it with my mom.
Yeah, my mom. Super crafty. And she hooked us up. And now it looks like we have a super expensive marble countertop. But we don't.
I always like to put citrus stuff into the chicken. So I'm gonna cut a lemon and an orange. Put this rack so that it drains out everything that I don't want and so it doesn't taste fatty or anything, and then all the liquids drain out and it gets a little toasty on the bottom as well. Why do I want to cook a whole chicken? Just because I want to make a really delicious, yummy, like grandma tomato soup, Mexican soup, and in order to do that I want a really flavorful stock, which is gonna be made from the bones of the chicken after it gets done cooking. I want heavy olive oil so that it gets really nice and crispy. Rub it a little bit. I'm gonna do dried rosemary. You can do fresh thyme, you can do fresh rosemary, or any other herb that you may want. And I'm gonna put it right inside of my chicken, along with the squeezed lemon and orange. Maybe I'll fit one more. And that's gonna give it a really good flavor from the inside out. And a really nice shape as well. I'm gonna go with the salt. It's gonna be heavily salted. You want the skin and everything to absorb the salt that you're putting in there. I'm gonna use the little bits of rosemary I had left that broke off. And heavy pepper. And then I will top it off with this. The second thing that's gonna take the longest is gonna be the pork butt, which is why I want to sear and put in the oven as soon as possible. So I have my skillet. Heating up slowly, low to medium heat. Meanwhile, I get my veg ready. So I'm gonna use 2 Spanish white onions, yellow onions. I'm just gonna roughly chop them. Take the top off, take the bottom off, cut it in half. move it around for a little bit. After we see that it has been seared, I want them to be really, really charred. And at this point, I will want to add all of my tomatoes. Well, right now we only have teeny tiny tomatoes, but I will probably do like 4 big tomatoes, and this is gonna pretty much dissolve into the whole thing, and it's gonna turn into a brownish sauce. The tomatoes are not even gonna be visible at some point. I'm also gonna add my spices, a little herba, which is like a sweeter type of pepper. It's a little spicy, a little sweet. I'm gonna do a little bit of chipotle. Salt. Okay, so my onions, my tomatoes, and my garlic have been here for a little bit. The onions are starting to caramelize. They're getting a little transparent and juicy and nice, and the tomatoes are also starting to burst. And now is the time when I want to add my pork butt. So what I want to do to reduce cooking time, since this is a pretty big piece, I don't want them to cut it over. It's nice and kind of fatty, but not too fatty, so it's gonna give it some more flavor to our stuff. I'm probably gonna just take off like this little excess. It's a little too thick. But otherwise, I'm just gonna cut it to just reduce cooking time so it cooks a little faster. Still gonna be in chunks. It's approximately, when I bought it, she told me it was about 2 pounds, so it shouldn't be too much. And then the bone is gonna give it that much more flavor as well.
Alright, now it's time for Yami to build up flavor. She's gonna drizzle some olive oil, salt, pepper, and all the spices. To continue seasoning, she's gonna go heavy on the cumin. This is important for meats. It gives meats their meat flavor, if that makes sense. Then she's gonna go a little lighter on the hot spices because we don't tolerate that as much. Back to our pan with our very pretty caramelized veggies. We want to put all the pork and make sure we're not overcrowding the pan so that steam is not created and we get that golden crust before we put it in the oven.
I already turned this off because I don't want any more smoke, but I would have liked to sear this big fat piece as well. I mean, which no big deal, it's still gonna do it in the oven. I just wanted to give it a charred dark flavor or color, I'm sorry. And last thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of my frozen stock that we keep in the freezer. Basically, if you've seen all of our videos, and we keep a little Ziploc bag, well, a big Ziploc bag full of veggie scraps. All I do afterwards is boil them and make a stock, strain it, and then date it. And then date it and put it here, freeze it. I mean, it's still a little frozen, but it's just so flavorful when you add it to things like this. Why do I want the whole chicken? So since we're gonna make the soup and we're gonna make burritos as well, or tacos, however it may be, I want to grab the dark meat, which is the legs, all this part of the thigh, the leg, and the wings, and that's gonna be the chunky parts that I'm gonna throw into my soup, which is gonna give it a ton of more flavor. And then the breasts, I'm gonna actually pick them and then shred them, and that's gonna be another filling to our tacos or burritos. I picked it as best as possible since it's still pretty freaking hot. So there, I kind of want to see all the bones all around, and then I want to make sure I pick out the back as well. And right here, the oysters, I you make sure you want to take those out, and you want to pick through this bone right here, right there. So now this baby is gonna go into a pot, which I have right next to me, along with all the veggies, and it's gonna be an amazing chicken stock. Yay, so much work, but it's gonna be delicious. To have some juice in there that cooked inside of the chicken, so I'm gonna pour it into my chicken breast. Pork butt has been in the oven for about, let's say, 2 hours. And I already checked it once, and it's very much pullable, which is when you know that it's ready. So you know it's ready when it's this easy to pull, and all you want to do is literally pull all of this meat off of the bone, and this is gonna be your amazing tortilla filling. We're gonna make the chicken with the white meat that we picked. White meat meaning the breast that we picked from our whole chicken, and this, it's gold. You can actually buy this, which is it's chicken fat with like the oil that I put into it and whatnot. So I'm gonna use that same oil to put my veggies. I don't need to use all of this. And say whatever it tastes like.
Alright, I'm gonna eat it.
What does it taste like?
It's amazing.
Are those the thickest burritos you've ever had? What?
So the alarm has gone off like a million times, and we've been fanning it, and I'm kind of dying.
Are you dying? I'm dying. I'm like, I put my feet here so I could be higher, so I could be overhead, and all the humo, what do you call it, humo, is up there, so I'm literally asphyxiating.
Right. So